And you can continue letting us know where you're from in the chat. We've been looking. We see a lot of places and a lot of familiar places, so that's great. We love having you here. Just going to wait a minute or so for some more people to join. But yeah, thank you for letting us know, like I said.
Seeing a bunch North Carolina. I'm also in North Carolina. Got some New Jersey, Ohio, Indiana, Kansas, Arizona's in the house.
Malaysia may win for the furthest away.
All right. So let's get into our agenda. And we have learning goals for today. Today, we're going to learn how to use our new progress reports, and we'll show you how it can really update the parents easily. And then we're going to tap into the key data that these reports show. And it's really going to help you with your instruction and with engaging the parents to let them know what are their students doing, what are the children doing, and how are they progressing in class, and what does it all really mean? So we'll get into those details. Right. And then after the session, you will receive a PD continuing education certificate. That should come to your email about 2 hours later. So just be on the lookout for that. You'll also get a parent guide that you can give to the parents with detailed information about the reports. And then there's going to be some extra perks that are announced at the end of the webinar. So definitely stay tuned and stick around for that. All right, so now we'll officially introduce ourselves. I'm Carolyn Vento. I'm the Marketing Engagement Manager here at Read Theory. You may have seen me around in the community. Part of my role here is to talk to teachers and to learn what they're doing in the classroom. And I take that back and we talk about it. We've definitely taken many ideas into consideration and even implemented them onto the platform or as extra resources from teachers. So we love hearing from you. We love that you're here. And please let us know any feedback that you have is very welcome. And before coming to Read Theory, I was a teacher. I taught for 13 years in the New York City Department of Education. So I'm really happy to still be working in the education field. Courtney?
Thanks, Carolyn. Hey, everybody. I'm Courtney. I'm the head of marketing at Read Theory. I'm recognizing some names in the chat and some school partners. So it's great to have you all on tonight. I do want to say that if you aren't a school partner and you found yourself here, it's a great opportunity to still learn about the school plans and some of what's new, particularly this new feature around student progress reports and our parent guide. So in the chat also, you've probably already talked to them, Carly and Jen from our team. And with that, we'll introduce Lisa.
Hey, everybody, I'm Lisa. I work in our strategic partnerships group. And so I get to work with all of you as you come on board with Read Theory, and I chat with you throughout the year and check in and make sure things are going well. I also am a career educator. I taught for 15 years and then was a school administrator for a few years after that. And my heart is always going to be with students and in schools. And so I really love getting to work with teachers and administrators and bring solutions that I think really make teaching easier and more effective and not add extra work for all of you. And I think this report goes along with that. So super excited to get to talk with you today, and always here if anybody needs anything outside of today.
So as we at Read Theory are looking into building the platform and adding new features and benefits, there's a lot of research and development that goes into it. And we've worked with many teachers over the past few months as we were building this out and what this would look like. And we learned a lot in the process. So while we wait for a few more people to join, we thought we'd play a little game using the poll. So take it to the polls. You'll see on Webinar Ninja, there's a poll icon at the top right-hand corner, and Carolyn just opened it up. So question number 1, teacher-parent communications increases the odds that students complete their homework by what percentage? And you can answer using the poll. Once you answer, you should be able to start to see other people's answers coming through. All right, you guys are pretty good. Answer is 40%. 67% of you got that correct. So that's pretty good. Let's do the next one. Next one might be a little harder. All right, teachers spend around how many hours per week communicating student progress with parents or guardians? Let's see, what do we think the average is? Ready? Let's go. Oh, it's tight. It's tight. What will it be? All right, well, if you guessed between 2 and 3 hours, you were correct. Technically 2.5, I guess. Awesome. Yeah, and as we were doing this research, really, we were so validated and feeling like, okay, teachers are doing so many things. Not only are they working with parents, communicating with parents, but they're differentiating learning. They're doing general administration work. You're doing PD like you're doing tonight, right? And like this is all of us right now at the end of the year, kind of how we're feeling. And that just makes a whole lot of sense, right? So this is why we're building this, this for you all. Next slide. And ultimately, we know that students with engaged parents are 20% more likely to graduate from high school. And this is what it really comes down to, is we want to give you all the tools to be able to engage parents the best you can and make it easy for you in the process. And with that, we'll get right on with it. We wanted to keep this to 30 minutes for it to be the best use of your time. So Lisa's going to jump right in and show you around.
All right. Going to take a look at the new report. So once I share my screen here, it pops up for you all. This part should look familiar to everybody on this call in terms of logging in and your classes and all of that. In this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and choose one of my classes to look at and go ahead over to the progress reports. And hopefully everybody on this call is already familiar with the reports that are available to you. The one that's changed is the new progress report that we're going to look at. When I'm talking with teachers, I always want to point out the curriculum standards report, just in case you haven't noticed it yet, or if you're a school that's still deciding whether or not this plan is for you. I'm going to give you a 2-second peek at this report. But for my little Read Theory Academy class here, you can see I flipped classes. I'm going to switch back to the right one. But I'm looking at my Read Theory Academy class for the curriculum standards. And as I jump in here, I can see for my class how they're doing as a whole in terms of key literacy skills. So I'm able to understand not just whether students are having a hard time or making the progress that I want, but if they are having a hard time or not making that progress, what are the areas that I want to address to make sure to fill in those gaps? So this is where I can really see where the gaps are. And you can see for this particular class that they're doing really well understanding characters, that characterization piece. They're doing really, really well with vocab as well. And then there are some other areas here that there's a little less consistency. When you look at this report for any of the areas that you see, you can always click on see details for each student, and it will show you student by student in a really quick visual way who might be having a hard time with this particular standard and who's doing well with it. So you can see here in this particular case, we've got Allison at the bottom who's crushing this and probably doesn't need a lot of support with this. And Patricia's doing really well, and Charles is doing well. And then some other students like Nancy and Paula, who I might want to pull into a small group to work on this skill. And so just wanted to show you that report really quickly because you're about to see it again on the new progress report. But you've got the curriculum standards report. And for the new report that we just launched that we're here to look at, what you want to do if you want to run this report when you're at the class level, you can go to export report and go to reports right here. And if you click on this, it's going to download this report for all students in your class. So I'm going to show you that in 1 second. It's going to download for all your students in one place, and you'll have a report for each student right there. You can also click on any student you'd like. And when you click on the student, if you go to export reports, it kind of scoots over here a little bit. If you go to PDF, it will download this report for that one student. So you're able to download all of your students at once, but if you have 20 students in a class and you only need one, you can go into the student and just under here, this PDF is going to be the report for one student. So up to you which way you run it, but once you've chosen that, you can come in here and again, click that reports button. And then this is what the report looks like. It takes a second to run, so I downloaded it ahead of time. But you can see the report that you're going to get. What it's going to show you for each and every student, you'll get their grade level progress and the Lexile level progress laid out for you. And then you also get the curriculum standards for that student. So when you think of communicating with families about the progress students are making, you have a way to easily show the progress they're making, and then also to show areas of strength and areas that the student might need to work on, all in one simple place that you can just print this out or show it on a screen to share with families. You also can see how many quizzes they've taken and passed and the average over time. One of the things that I really love about this is sometimes there'll be a student who's making progress, but they're in 7th grade and they're making progress from a 4th. And this allows me to celebrate the success that they're having and show that progress for sure, and the quizzes they've passed and all the great things that they're doing, and also to make sure to communicate with parents where they are. So the progress is from a 4th grade level, so that parents understand both things at the same time, success and also still things to work on. I know that's often one of the things you want to be able to communicate. And so we really wanted to make sure that was laid out here pretty clearly. But anyway, this is the report. You can see this is the first student, and I can keep scrolling and I can just see all the students in a row. So you can run this for your whole class at once, or like I said, you can run it for a single student if you don't need all of your students. We also have shared a new parent guide to go with this. So alongside this, you are able to share this parent guide with parents that explains the different things that are on it and gives a few suggestions. You can see this right here. It just explains who we are and some of the terms that they're seeing on the report, including Lexile levels, which might be something parents wouldn't be familiar with. And then the second page of this is just some suggestions if there are areas that parents want to help their kids with. These are parent-friendly suggestions of ways you can reinforce the different literacy skills that are covered on the page about their child. So this is available for you just so you know where to find this. You can find it in the handouts for this webinar. Also, if you're in on the website, if you just go to the resources hub, that's linked right there, and scroll down a little bit right here, you'll see the parent guide and you can hit download, and in 2 seconds you'll have it. It also attaches, by the way, to the end of the report down at the bottom. You should see it. Almost there. So you can see it's at the bottom when you do the class version. And if you only do one student, it'll be attached right after the 2 pages for that student. So just FYI, it does come at the bottom here as well. That said, we definitely want to make sure to leave a little bit of time for questions. I haven't had a chance to look at the chat while I was talking, so we'll loop back to those. But while we have everybody, I always just want to make sure to show you a few other very quick things, just to make sure everybody knows other things that have come out over the course of this year, since we haven't done one of these in a bit. If you haven't seen it yet, I showed you to click on the resources hub to get to the parent guide. But I also just want to point out, we've added a lot throughout this particular school year in terms of keeping students engaged, and some really fun pieces in the resource hub that are available for you. Make sure to come check these out too. Things like student achievement certificates that you can see here. So if you do award ceremonies or anything, you're able to recognize students for the work that they're doing. I happen to love the Mastery Mastermind because it focuses on students doing well. And I always think quality over quantity is the way I want to go. And so, passing 80% or more of your quizzes, you're a Mastery Mastermind, which I think is really fun. But you can see there are a whole bunch of these in here, and some other things to check out, a bulletin board and some other fun things. We also have all of our trainings here that you're welcome to check out as well, and some other little pieces at the bottom. The last piece I'm going to point out to you, in case you haven't found this yet, is our AI passage builder. And what this is, if you haven't found it, it is linked in a few different places, including in the resources hub. And you are able to come in here and put in any topic you want. So whatever it is that you want to create a passage about. I was talking to a school recently that was talking about the digestive system. So we threw that in here, and you're able to create a passage at any grade level. So if I have students, if I'm teaching 6th grade, but I have students reading at a 3rd grade level, a 6th grade level, and an 8th grade level, I can create a passage on the same topic at all of those levels. And then once I do that, it's going to create a passage that I'm able to edit in any way that I want. So if there's a particular standard that I want to make sure the right language gets in there, or some other piece that I'm focused on, I'm able to edit this passage to add that in. You can also use these for really high interest passages for students who might be reluctant readers. These are great to create something about their hobby, or a celebrity they like, or the sport that they play, but something that would be high interest for them. In this case, I went with something curriculum related. Here's my passage. This was a 6th grade version, and I can hit the little pencil, and then I can come in here and edit in any way that I want. So maybe if I would actually read it if I were doing this, but I might say too much text altogether. I'm going to space it out, and then I want to make sure this particular piece gets covered in here. So I'm going to add in a sentence. And then once I'm ready, all I do here is say, looks good. And it's going to create a series of questions, of 5 questions for me based on the passage that I've now created. And those questions can also be edited in the same way, and the answers can be edited. So if there's a particular way you want to ask a question, or a topic you're trying to cover, or a skill from the curriculum standards report you want to make sure gets covered, you can edit these questions to make sure to get the right thing in here. So you can see how there's a series of questions, and for any of them, you could go ahead and edit the question, or edit the answers, or even the explanation. And when you're done, you can hit looks good, and it will generate the passage and send it to you as a PDF. So if you haven't found that, I think that's one of the more fun things we have going on, and I always like to make sure to show it. And with that said, we have about 10 minutes left, and I want to pause there to make sure we leave time for questions. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and take a look at the chat. I don't know if anything has popped up while we were talking, but let's take a look. Anything that you guys have noticed? You can yell a question too at me. Well, most people can't, that don't have audio, but if anybody has seen.
I saw 2 questions, Lisa, come up as you were talking.
Yeah.
One question was, can you just show them one more time when you're in the product, 2 things.
Yes.
1, where you actually go to download the report, and 2, where you go when you're logged in to get to the resources hub.
Yes, absolutely. I can do both. So when you go, hold on, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. It would be more helpful to give you a visual with my screen shared. Sorry about that. Um, it should pop up in just a second for you. There we go. So when you go and you log in, if you just go ahead and go to the progress reports like you would for all kinds of reasons, you can come in here and you can find this report in two ways. So the first way is if you're at the class level. So you're just looking at your whole class at once, like I am here. You can see Read Theory Academy. I can go to export report, and it is under student reports, just this reports tab right here that you see. This is going to give you the entire class at once. So if you want to download all, in my case, 12 or 13 students, I would just hit reports and it will download everybody at once. If I want an individual student, then I can come up here and just select a student, any student I want. And you'll see that the export reports kind of scoots over a little bit and the menu's slightly different at the student level. Here under this right here, you would go to PDF. PDF is the one that is going to give you this report for just one student. I hope that answers that part of the question. But yeah, so for the student, it's under export reports and it's the PDF. And for the class, if you come in here and you go under student reports, it's reports. I will say that when you do it for a whole class, it definitely takes a minute because there's a lot of data to process, especially depending on how many quizzes students have done in the time frame that you're creating it for. So if it looks like it's spinning, just give it another minute and it's probably working. It just takes an extra minute to load. So hopefully that helps with where to find it. And the second part of that, I think, was somebody asked about where to find the resources hub. To find the resources hub, if you look up at the top where all the little tabs are, under your name is a link to the resources hub right there. So you're welcome to go visit it that way. There are a couple ways to get to it, but this is the easiest way when you're in the platform itself. If you just click on Resources Hub, it'll take you right there and you'll be able to see all the stuff that I just showed you, including, by the way, the AI worksheet builder is right next to the parent guide there, side by side down here. Hope that helps with that question. Were there other questions that we saw pop up? I'll peek at the chat too, but yeah. Let's see. Hopefully, Kelly, I slowed down enough for you to see it. I apologize. I do talk fast. You aren't the first person to tell me that, especially when you're familiar with it and you do it all the time. I apologize. I wasn't being a great teacher there. Let's make sure I've got everybody.
And while we're waiting for any more questions, if you have them, pop them into the chat. If you found yourself here tonight and you are not already on a school plan, we do have a special happening right now where if your school does sign on before May 2nd, we are including a custom PD session for back to school for your school. So if your school is on the fence about it, or you found yourself here tonight and you're not on a school plan and you want access to this feature and some of the other features Lisa showed, definitely fill out the form in the chat and we can send you some more information. Thanks, Jen. Pop the link in the chat. And we'll be announcing who will get a free PD and pizza party. So you're gonna have pizza, you're gonna have PD for one lucky school that's on live tonight. So watch your email in the next couple of days because we'll be announcing which school won, depending on how many of y'all signed on live tonight.
I would say, Ashley, I was typing a response to you, but it's probably faster to just say it. Thank you so much for the feedback that you offered about including the pretest level. We will definitely share that with the team, especially when products are brand new. Something is totally new. We love feedback anyway, but especially now, love the feedback and the thought about what it is that you wish you had, because of course we'll continue to update and iterate on what we've come up with. So please, as you try it, let us know. And Ashley, we have got what you suggested already captured, but if there's anything else that you all think of, we're designing it for you and creating for you. And so if there's some piece that keeps it from being as useful as it could be, then we want to try our best at least to make sure to get that in there. Any other questions that anybody had? Oh, there were more down here. Let's see. I see a few more questions. I apologize. I didn't scroll down. In the AI worksheet builder, can you assign the worksheet to a specific student? That actually turns into a PDF. So you would share it with a specific student because it's a PDF. You can also, give it to a student through like your Google Drive or Google Classroom, however you all are sharing within your classroom. So yeah, you can share it that way with specific students for sure. The school plan is absolutely still available for this year. I think Courtney kind of just addressed that, but we are happy to talk to you anytime about that and different promotions that are going on with that and everything. But yes, it is still available for this year. Let's see.
And Amy, great question. There are a bunch of how-to videos that Carly actually made a whole series on our YouTube channel. So definitely check those out because they range from like 5 minutes to 25 minutes. And then we even have some webinar recordings on there. So depending on how deep you want to go or how fast you want to figure something out.
Carolyn, if you click on my screen for 1 second that I'm sharing, if you go back to that same resources hub that I showed you, this is in there, you can see on-demand trainings. And if you click on that, it will take you to those trainings. So you're all set there. So do know that that is linked right in the resources hub as well. Also, by the way, one of the things that I love that we haven't mentioned, this PD resources for your school is actually a slideshow that's built for you. So at the beginning of the year, or any other time, if you have lots of teachers using this and you want to do a little in-service or just sort of how to get set up and ways to really use Read Theory, if you request this, we'll actually send you a slideshow and other materials to help get everybody started. So that's it goes along with the YouTube videos, but another way to do some training and all of that. Oh, Catherine, I see your question about how long it takes a student to do a quiz. It usually, I would say, takes on average roughly 10 minutes. Sometimes it can be a little more, sometimes it can be a little less, but I would say roughly 10 minutes. Yeah. And how do you request the slideshows, Kelly? If you go into Carolyn, I'm going to share my screen one more time and just show you exactly where to do that. You'll see it pop up. But Kelly, I want to make sure to show you this. There we go. If you go to this PD resources for your school and you fill this form out, we will send all of that to you. We'll make sure to get it to you. So yeah, just fill this form out and we will get you everything that you need. Oh, Catherine, I apologize. I misunderstood that question. We actually are working on a brand new report that shows what you're asking. We haven't been able to show that before. And I know that they've been developing and testing a report to be able to add that. So stay tuned. Hopefully by fall, if not sooner, you'll be able to see that. But I know that that is like incredibly high on the list. It's something we get asked about and has been being developed and I think is like getting close to ready to share. So you can't yet, but join us in the back to school ones and hopefully I can answer that question for you then and show you exactly how to do it. You're not the only one, Catherine, cheering over that. Well, thank you all. We're happy to hang out for another minute in case anybody has any questions, but I think that was probably most of what we had.
Yeah, this was great, y'all. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the engagement, playing along with us and the polls. Really excited about what's to come, and thank you also for the feedback. This is how we decide, what we're building next. So thanks for spending your night with us. I'm going to drop the link for more info on school plans for anything. You know how to reach us if you need us. And I hope you all have a good night.
Bye, everyone.